I'm in the mood for a little bit of relaxing radio. Let's go for ambient. Yeah, I like ambient. So let's go for ambient station. Moving on, motivation. I don't want anything too loud. I don't want anything too bold. I just want to have fun, creating, designing, doing what I love. But first, I need to make sure that I am streaming. I'm already dropping frames way too fast. Oh well, I'm not gonna use that excuse to not work. So we're going to go get started on day 2 of training. I'll have a few reference. The first thing when it comes to PAP art is to kind of separate the two obstacle or two of the cat. So I'm going to go with an outline, but before I do that, I learned something from yesterday. I can make it a lot easier for myself if I make a clone of it and I select it with image trace, so that way I can go for grayscale. So we're gonna go for shade of gray. That is going to allow me to kind of clump together the dark and the light and the shadow. It's going to be a lot better. Very beautiful. I'm also going to use a few extra idea to kind of figure out all of it together. Okay. So I kind of have a rough estimate of where the lights are and where the shadows are. So the lights are over here, the shadows are over here, and then I just need a little bit of the sharpened edge. So I'm not going to expand this. What I'm going to do is use this as a reference picture. I'll put this reference picture above the original picture. So let's get started. First step, outlining. Yeah, first step is to outline the cat. Let's go for the cat on the left. I need to make sure I got the heads right. I'll also make sure you don't have any fill. Zero fill. Do not have any fill whatsoever. We're gonna be able to add in a lot of detail later, but for now I'm just gonna go with making a general shape, or as little of a shape as I can, so later I can edit it. I'm not a professional, so I'm going for low poly first. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with low poly for the first few, and then I can go for a little bit more advanced with the shapeless, so I can actually edit that a little bit easier later on. So this is just the rough sketch of it. Just kind of have like the outline idea of what the cat's head looks like. So we already got the outline. Lovely stuff. I'm gonna start making a few extra shape in between the indented. The fur is very detailed, so we don't want to go for that. We want to go for like a general shape, just kind of add in. Let's go for overall outline of the body. So it looks like this is the part where it's the back of the cat. Yeah, the back of the cat. This is the hands of her. Very beautiful, furry, fluffy kitty. Okay, so I can kind of see where the fur is coming from, the general direction. We're also going to use a little bit of imagination when it comes to the part we can see. I'm going to go for the second cat, and it's gonna interact with the first cat's fur, because this is a photo taken by the client. So it's beautiful in between of the first and the second cat, but right now I'm focusing on the general shape. And once I'm done with general shape, I can go for the detailed later. So for this cat, we have a little whisk right here, just kind of pans out right there, kind of adds all to the cheekbone right about here. There's not a lot of contrast, which is kind of because of the low depth of field, so I kind of have to go with my imagination of what the cat looks like. Like this guy that took the picture is not like a photographer or someone who works in the industry. It's just a casual picture from a phone. So the quality and the result is going to heavily depend on the picture. Like, it's not a lot of detail to begin with, so it's hard to work with. You want more detail, you're gonna have to get a good picture at the beginning. Anyways, make sure I don't put any what is it called, curves. For this type of art, you don't want any curve. This one, I'm just gonna go with a general shape for now. I'll go with a little bit extra in-depth and detailed later. Let's go for the overall shape instead of having the finger detailed. There we go. Lovely stuff. Kind of outline all of those. Okay. I might as well go for the extra detailed over here with the kitty's fur. Very beautiful, very majestic. Difficult to kind of pull off, but it's definitely possible. Gives that little wild impression, if you know what I mean. Oh, that is a curve. We do not want a curve. You want to make sure you click and not drag or click and hold. Never click and hold when it comes to this kind of art. It does take a lot of time, just kind of slowly going through the detail, but I assure you the result is going to be worth it. There we go. You can kind of see the general shape kind of adding together nicely. I'm going to go for the cat's tail for now. Hopefully I can add a little bit extra detail when I am done, but this is gonna be overall a very rough estimate since we can't exactly measure the cat's fur, not hair, fur, very finely. So I'm going with a rough estimate, kind of what is going on, how it's gonna all blend in together, hopefully seamlessly, hopefully it is all going to be majestic when it's done. Let's move on, move on. This music is a little bit eerie, kind of puts me in a mood for like horror game. I don't know about you, but I feel like that's a horror game vibe kind of music. I have two options. I can either go with continuing this little line right here, or I can finish off with the tail. Learn one thing from yesterday's experience of training with a human. You kind of want to go with the general shape of whatever you're trying to convey, but you want to go with anything that has the same color, so you kind of distinguish the feature. For me yesterday, I didn't do that because it was a black and white photo, and I intentionally did that for purposeful training. Yeah, so it was intentional. No, I know I could have done a lot better if I have a little bit extra color towards it, but it's not that important. Yeah, overall it's not that important. It's not like I need it. Okay. So it's just gonna connect that together. This is gonna be the part where we have a little bit extra spikes, and I'm going to have to redo a lot of the feather. I mean, a lot of the line. So I'm probably going to delete both straight line, because now that I realize I have to redo them at some point. So might as well, you know, make a copy version of this and delete the main one. Okay, delete those, delete those. I'll go for the extra detailed version first. That way we can convert it at any time. Okay, just kind of add in the fur. Let's go for the black and white cat first. It seems to be the front line of the picture, so it's easier to work with this. I know the stream is lagging a lot. There's not much I can do about that. I really wish or hope there's a better way to allow me to stream doing this kind of. You can kind of see it is. You can kind of see it is spiking upwards towards the cat's ear, but that's not what I'm trying to focus on. I'm trying to go beyond that. Kind of go over here, a few extra. Each one is longer than the last. Then we can go for the extra fluffy little ear right about here. A few scratch of hair. Above or below doesn't matter. I'll redo the shape and convert it later. It's just like understanding art style. You need to first analyze it, then try it out for yourself, then analyze that result, then do it again, then again and 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 again. It just keeps going. So now I can actually go for the ear, the second ear, with a little bit extra strand of puffy, very nice little fur right there. This one is a little bit too tall, so let's go a little bit downwards. A few extra strand of hair, right? I mean, not hair, fur. There's a difference between fur and hair, and I need to be very, very aware of that. It kind of have like this zigzag pattern that kind of has direction and flow kind of built into it. It is nice. The contrast right here is a little bit difficult to kind of construct, but I can sort of make out the sense of it. Just a little bit. There's not a lot of detail to work with there, so just kind of skip past it. Skip past it a little bit. We can work with the overall shape instead of just restricting ourselves to the smaller detail. Yeah, smaller detail. So I'll be sure to use that later on. It is pretty difficult for day 2 to work on this sort of shape, but I am very happy that I do get a picture like this. Thank you, my viewer, sending me this. It's good training. It's good practice. Okay. Interesting. Need to make sure I got all of the line linked up and all of them are connected, especially the outer one. I can always add in more shapes later, but if I don't have the overall outer shape, it's going to make it very difficult for the inner shape to help out. Yeah, I need both of them to be very closely entangled. Yeah, very closely entangled. So it looks like that one and this one, they're both entangled, which is great. I'm probably going to delete this cat's paw for now. We can work on that little extra detail later, just so we have a close shape. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so two close shape. Very lovely stuff. I am on the right layer when I'm working this. Always make sure to double check if you're on the right layer or not. It's a little bit difficult to see, but this part right here, I believe I could improve it just a little bit with some extra tiny spikes, extra tiny puffs of hair, but I don't think that is necessary. We're just gonna go for the overall shape of the cat's head for now. So let's go for the ear first. Break it down into bite-sized shape. So I'll first work out the let's work out the fur on the head. Yeah, kind of have this little spiky shape. Break it down even further beyond for the color. Next is going to be this little inner portion of the ear. It is more defined and a lot well defined. so I can actually see the shape of the cat's of the fur and the cat's making it. Okay, so it looks like it goes all the way to here, a little bit above, a little bit below, a lot over here. It's kind of poking through a little bit over here. It's difficult, so you gotta just estimate it. Just gotta use your instinct to kind of figure it out. If it doesn't work, you can always just fix it later. It doesn't look good. Okay. Plan A doesn't really work well, so I'm gonna go with plan B. I am learning and improving. So plan A doesn't really work very well. Like you can see the thing that I just dragged out. It is the overall cat's shape and body, but it's not going to define the color of yeah, it's not going to define the color of the cat's ear and whisker and everything. So instead, we got plan C. Plan A was basically trying to make a general shape and then add in detail later, but I figured out adding in detail later is going to take way too much time, and we want to be as efficient as possible when it comes to time, so that isn't going to work. Plan B was to be doing everything all at once, so I can be as efficient as time as possible with the overall shape. And I realized that when I do that, I can't actually use my shape builder to its maximum efficiency. So we're going with plan C. We're going with the color of the cat first, and then we're going to break down the shadow right here and the light, the highlights. So we're breaking it down even more. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to distinguish the cat's feature, like the head, right here, the head first, and then I'll work on the body after. So let's go for just the head, break it down. So the head has the ear, so I need to work on the cat's ear. Ear is behind the cat's head in terms of there. So we're going to go break down the cat's head right about here. It is little weird, oddly shaped, but that is not going to stop me from kind of cutting it in between, just kind of using my imagination to see how much the cat's fur is going to affect the ear. Then we go with a little bit of extra little detail facial hair right here, as in the cat is like turns head, turning his face, maybe trying to say hi to the camera, maybe giving us a little nod like I'm here, I'm hungry or something. I'm not sure what the cat is trying to convey, but that is good little detail to add. Okay, my internet can't keep up, but thank you for saying my cat. I'll send more if you wish. DM me in Discord more. I gotta go, school, internet bad, see ya. Yeah, it's my internet. My internet is pretty bad right now. So I'm just gonna break it down all the way until we get to the eye, because that's where the colors just kind of stop. We're gonna just go right about here. Difference in color, because I don't know how many color I'm going to use, so I'm just gonna go with overall shape of it. Yeah, overall shape. I'm also being very careful when I click not to accidentally drag any of the points. I want to zoom in for more detail, but then I can't see the bigger picture of how the cat's fur is going to react in all of this. So we also need to make sure to have all of the custom layered differently. Yeah, I figured that out. I learned that from yesterday. This is not the same as low poly art, so we can have multiple layers on top of each other, and then we can just cut them separately as if that is what I intend to do. Yeah. So this one is a little bit strange. I'm gonna go with my imagination and just go say, hey, I'll just make up some detail over here, detail that doesn't exist. We're just gonna make it up as I go. Just gonna YOLO for the here. Give the little kitty cat some personality, I would say. Yeah, give the kitty cat some personality. The spikes are very good. I don't need them to be very even. They just have to be a few strands. I accidentally dragged. That's why I control Z. I don't want too much spikes, but it's a cat. You can't not have enough spikes with a cat. It's kind of impossible. They have fur everywhere. Yeah, they have fur everywhere. So I try to lower the amount of detail I'm giving while I'm working on this. But it's easier said than done. No, I do not want to go for the inner ear. That's a mistake I caught myself making. So let's go with a few detail for the head first. Okay, so now I got the overall shape of the cat's head, at least the dark portion, the black fur. There we go. We got the black fur. Now I can layer the white fur on top of it, and then I can add a few strands of white hair later. Overall, this is fine. It's gonna take a long time to add in all of those, but it's worth it. Okay, next let's go for the ear, the Cantonese ear. Cantonese ear. Oh, that is not a point. I'm pretty sure I dragged. Yeah, you need to not drag. You need to be very slow and steady, not to drag. Okay, right there is where the white stops, but I'm going for the overall shape of the ear first, and then I'll have the detail later. Yeah, I'll have the detail add in later. There we go. Okay, perfect. We got two shape. Let's go for the third. I'm probably just gonna make one cat for now, and then once I'm satisfied with that, I'll go for the second cat. It's better to not bite off more than you can chew. Yeah, it's very important not to bite off more than you can chew. So I'm gonna pick my battle wisely. I don't have infinite amount of time. I'm not getting paid for doing this. This is only training. This is good practice, good improvement, but I still need to work on my Pixelmon server and other stuff. So it's just overall good. There. Okay, we got the second shape of the ear. Now we can go with the detail. Now I can go with the inner detail of the ear. So let's go with a couple strand right here, couple strand right there. Should be fine. Okay. What should I go for first? Let's go for the biggest shape I can see, or maybe the not so big shape. Just kind of follow through. If they intersect, if they intersect with each other, so be it. Actually, no. I'm gonna not do that. I'm gonna only go for big shape for now, and then later I can go for the detailed. So I would say that part is done. Because I know the ear is like right about here. It's this big, and then this is this fur covering it up. So it's like layered on top of each other. I need to not think of this as one big shape. Instead, I need to think of this as a very complex layer of shapes. So once I think about it like that, I can actually see all of the shape kind of blend in together. That's very important. So the pupil has been dilated, so I'm just going to go with this. Add in as much detail as I want, add in as much detail as I need. Let's see, if I just figure it out, it is quite a complicated process, but I'm sure I can figure something out. Okay, so this cat looks like it only has 4 points for the eyes. Interesting. So something of this shape should be enough to kind of justify that. Maybe I can make the eye a little bit bigger, just a little bit. Crescent. Okay, next is this one. Same idea. Very beautiful eye. Stalking his prey, or just wondering what's going on. What's going on inside your head while the owner's taking this picture? I wonder. What is that cat thinking? Does it want anything? Does it need anything? I don't know. Maybe. But whatever the case is, very interesting. There we go. Just kind of go slowly and carefully over the detail. There we go. The next one right here, intersect. I know I have auto snap on, and that's actually pretty helpful in this situation. Yeah, auto snap on is very useful in this situation. Okay, so I kind of want to go with this part. It is a little bit blurry, but I think I want to go with the darker part of the eyes first. So I want to separate that shape. Yeah, separate that shape. Make sure it is all down here. Next, I can go with the next shape right about here. Right about here should be fine. And then this overall shape of the cat's eye looks okay to me. I don't see any problem with that. I would say I can actually delete this anchor point and put this anchor point here. That way they connect to each other, and we can just go for here. And then we have white hair over there, and white fur over there. So we have extra shape over here as well. So that's gonna be where the cat's eyes kind of start. And then we also need to cut this part over here so we can separate the color. Right here is gonna be the fur for dark, and right here is gonna be the flesh color. Okay. Not a lot of things I can add or things I can say, but nonetheless beautiful, very gorgeous. You don't want to complicate the shape too much. Just go for whatever is present at the moment. I can add in the detail later. I'm not a professional yet. Need to keep trying. Need to try harder. Okay. This outer border should be fine. It's reacting quite nicely. Next, let's go for the inner eye. Inner eye, we can separate it to the membrane of the eye first, and then we can go with the iris. There. Okay. I can actually work on where the eyelid starts, right about here. Limitation, not very high amount of limitations, so I can actually drag and drop it there. A few extra over here. And next one. Here we go. Another little crescent shape. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There's a little extra line right here. I don't know if I should add it or not. I think I should. Just because it's present. Yeah, just because it is present. There you go. Okay. It's a little bit weird having this point drop down. So that is all white, which means I need to cut this part off right about here. Okay, so this one is white, this one is the flesh, this one is green, this one is all black. Lovely. I got the overall shape of the eye done. Now let's zoom out to kind of see the bigger picture, the full picture. The eyes looks okay to me. I don't need a lot of detail. Now let's distinguish the nose. Kind of go with the same idea, same pattern. Make the bigger overall shape first. This is a little bit difficult to see because of all the light reflected from the picture. Yeah, very high amount of white light. Yeah, that's a huge amount of white light. Okay, I can only presume that this is the right position. I'm only guessing. Hope I'm right. Okay. There. Okay, we got that. Let's go for the extra shading now. Overall shape of it is fine. There. Okay. Now is the little cat lips. Very blurry picture. I'll just use my imagination to kind of make up what is there, or try to make up what is there that I can presume to see, even I can't. Okay. Looks good enough. Analyzing this is gonna be a big pain. Let's make a little up spike right here. What color do I want this to be? That's my question. It's so difficult. I can also work with the shadow. Yeah, I can also work with the shadow. I'll add in those little whisker detail later. Going for the overall shape of the cat. That is a lot of extra whisker. Yeah, that is tons of extra whisker. So many. So many. Okay, that's a lot. Wow. Meow. Okay. Interesting. Let's go for this this version as well, this side as well. There's quite a few of fur right here. I know one thing for sure. This is tough. Much harder than yesterday. But I'm getting the hang of it. Slowly breaking down one shape at a time. I shouldn't ignore the ears. Let's go work on the ears. Okay, so that should be where the ears ends, interact. There we go. Now more meteor, dark color maybe. No, I don't think so. Holy, wow, that's a lot. Trying my best. That's a lot of fur. Kinda got used to this zigzag pattern by now, but still, damn. It's quite something. Okay, just got the white fur, the inner ear, and a few extra. Maybe I can exaggerate the extreme just a little bit, or a little bit more. Just kind of go deepen it. Yeah, deepen the crevice, the valley.